Hello everyone, this is George, and today, listen man, I've been playing this Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the past, I'd say a couple of days, some might say a week, you know. Um, so I'm about to drop this this video that I kind of composed in this day or so, and yeah, I'm just gonna go. This is gonna be a different style. I'm gonna do a different style of editing and going through these chaos reviews. So, get yourself a snack. Um, Come back, sit down, and just relax. Hear me speak. We're gonna go through the story, some gameplay mechanics, and then we're just gonna wrap it up with like my final thoughts. So, all right. So let's get started. Okay, so the story, I'm not sure about the location. We're just gonna say somewhere, Eastern Europe, because that's where all the Vanias come from. Um, I think the year was like 15 something. Anyway, either 15 or 17 something. I'm gonna go with the 17, but I could be wrong. I think it's mentioned somewhere in the intro. Um, Again, we're back on Dracula's castle. Mind you, this game takes place right after Rondo of Blood, right? So if you remember Rondo of Blood, you use Richter Belmont. Richter Belmont, he's a vampire hunter. I guess his bloodline is known, a Belmont is known to, uh, I guess, come into conflict with Dracula and bringing an end to him every 100 years or so. When Dracula is resurrected every century, and the Belmont of that current time is responsible for taking him down, and it's a cycle in a sense. So anyway, you start off basically in the last mission of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. If you remember, you fight Dracula using Richter Belmont, and that's how the game begins. You kind of replay the fight. The girl helps you beat Dracula and end this reign, stop him, hold him in place for like the next century. Um, Here it's kind of like a retelling of what just happened and what will be next to come, like within the game. So 4 years after Rondo of Blood, once Dracula's castle just plummeted, um, Richter Belmont all vanishes. Right, he disappears, and Maria, the girl that initially helped Richter Belmont defeat Dracula, is looking for him, and the only trail that is present is Dracula's castle, which has like mystically um, materialized again, right, through like this mist. So Maria, with no other clues, she goes into Dracula's castle to find Rick the Belmont, and within this time, Alucard, which is the main character of, I guess, the playable character you play, shows up. He kind of comes back. I guess he lent his power or so in the previous games, and he had an encounter with a Belmont from when it was a Belmont's time. So he wants to put an end to Dracula too. He goes in to destroy Dracula's castle. He stumbles upon Death, and Death tells him to go away. But Alucard isn't having any of that, so Death strips him of his powers, or more or less his gear. It's up to Alucard to just get back his armor, his gear, and just power up, basically, to go and defeat his father. So now along the way, he comes in contact with Maria, which was the initial girl that went to look for Richter, and the girl that helped Richter defeat Dracula the first time around. And so they come across each other, and they kind of have like this, like Maria's looking for Richter, um, and Alucard says, "Is he of Belmont?" And the answer is yes. I said, do you know of this Belmont? And Alucard says, "No, I have a Belmont encounter, but it's not the Belmont you're looking for." And this is saying that Alucard was, Alucard is a vampire. Uh, like I said, he kind of concealed his power in order to just weaken Dracula. I think, this is just kind of like my understanding. Um. So anyway, snap. Uh. So Alucard can remember a Belmont, but it's not the same Belmont. Like I said, this is a Richter Belmont, and Alucard is thinking of a Trevor Belmont, which was the Belmont he kind of helped defeat Dracula the first time around in his century. So anyway, Maria lets him know, well, if you come in contact with this man, just let me know. He says, sure thing. Now finally, Alucard comes in contact with Rick de Belmont. Rick de Belmont claims to be the lord of this castle, and is pursuing to be the lord of this castle. Now there's a conflict here between Alucard and Belmont. I mean, we had against the Richter and Alucard, where Alucard is trying to destroy the castle, but Richter wants to bring back Dracula from the dead in order to, because he comes up with this, I guess, like his own theory, right? His own philosophy of like, well, I noticed that in my bloodline, every Belmont, once he has defeated Dracula or so, it's kind of like doomed to is a doomed existence, because now his purpose is fulfilled and there's no reason for him to exist anymore. So what he wants to do is he wants to revive Dracula so he can kill him eternally, in a sense, so that his life doesn't end in meaningless. So he essentially wants to keep living, or keep repeating the fight, keep feeling like the champion or so, which it's kind of like, I guess his mind got corrupted, I don't know. And Alucard is like, well, that's kind of like the wrong way to go about things. So they have a dispute. It's between Alucard trying to destroy the castle and bring it down, and Rick de Belmont wanting to bring back Dracula, resurrect what he had already destroyed in order to just keep bringing him down, so that his purpose and end doesn't have like, I guess, so his purpose wouldn't come to an end because he had already done so. It's quite confusing towards the end, but it's a big clash. I mean, I guess it could have gone either way. Storytelling. I mean, you're playing as Alucard, so if Alucard defeats, I mean, my theory would be, if Belmont would have beat Alucard, Richter would have been Alucard, he would have brought back Dracula and maybe try to find a way to steal his vampire powers, or just take some power from him so he can eternally keep on defeating him, because it's said that Dracula comes back every 100 years or so, and maybe Richter just wanted to like keep it in the time still, like a time skip. Not time skip, but just keep it like forever. And Alucard was like, well, that's not the way of things. It's, things have to change and progress, and Alucard just wants to destroy the castle, get this over with, because there's no reason why this castle should be back. And so that's the story from my point of view, or my understanding. Alright, so I talked about the story. Now we'll talk about some gameplay, the mechanics of it. So triangle will be your dash, X is your jump, square is your slash or attack. Up attack button, up square is your special attack, which is like your the weapon you're holding. Circle is your shield. L1 is your bat transformation, and R1 is your wolf transformation. Or I might have in reverse or something. Now mist, it's kind of like a little special ability. You transform into like a mist form of yourself, and just like a wisp by holding both transformation buttons. And unlike other previous Castlevania games, you have like a menu now. You know, you activate like these relics and these items that are like they give you stats. You know, now there's like different gear like armor that will give you like more defense. Different swords or different weapons give you higher attack, and you progressively increase your armor, your equipment. Now for relics, relics are like passive power-ups. You know, you can get like a double jump. You don't necessarily have to activate the double jump. It's kind of like already within you. I guess it's like just passive, you know. Same with they fit in with transformations and so on and so on. All right, so I'm gonna just give out my final thoughts on the game. Like I said, it's gonna be kind of like a short little review. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. This will be like kind of like the first game I finally start rating. I'm like a rating system. A couple a while back I played a Blasphemous, and you know, kind of like the description of that game was Metroidvania, which I mean I played a lot of Metroid games, like like the Game Boy Advance games, and so on. Um, and this is kind of like my start to Castlevania. I don't know a lot, but I mean just playing this game, it's kind of like knowing like the design, the enemy design. It's just it's for its time for a game this old. It's like man, like they had it right back then. And I could see why, like kind of like the wide concept is just like the lore of Dracula, but not just that. I mean, kind of like the like I said before, like the just the gameplay mechanics, how it's like so smoothly. It's you know, the frames don't drop. You can kind of like tweak your gameplay to kind of like mess with the frames. You know, you can short jump and then land, and then you cancel your frames so you could launch another attack. And it's like the old school, like just like mechanics. And like I said before, like the enemy designs, the creations, like these like knights, skeletons, very just like gore. Like look at this thing, it's kind of like compiled of like just dead corpses. I mean, the transformations are cool and all once you reach like half point around the game. I mean, like dying in this game is a pain because you come back to your last save point, so it could be a mess. And you have a hit points now, which is, I mean, compared to Rondo of Blood, where you only had like a set number of hits you could take. Like I like the level up system. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna give this game a 4.25 stars out of 5 or so. Like anyways, pretty good. Thanks for watching. You know, you can do whatever you like. Uh, just stay tuned for the next one. Peace.